Alright, welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classic Legends Known Classics. This is episode number 3350 and episode number 3244. We have a Star Trek trade and Godzilla trade. First up, we have Star Trek New Visions, Volume 3. Will contain issues 6 to 8. This is I've discussed a couple of these trades before, but I have not reviewed one in quite a while, so here we go. The series didn't last very long, surprisingly. It lasted sporadically over the course of a few years. It put out maybe 22 issues. I reviewed the first 2 trades of the series, and in a way, I've only covered the first 5 issues. You're like, really? Well, that's because the book's quite lengthy. This is a photograph comic using stills from the show to create this comic book. This book contains issues 6 to 8 of the comic. So, here's what happens. First up, we have Piece the Action. Oh, basically, we use Piece the... So, in the case of the first issue, we have pretty much basically standard, scan the planet, whatever. And apparently something is coming, and then they arrive at the area, something's been destroyed. Like a ship, whatever. And then we have these weird things flying through space. What they are, don't know. It's like something is out there. And then they go through what appears to be like a version of the Destroyer. And they beam on this planet. Where... they find somebody there, and... stories call resistance. Like, you're pretty like, what the heck is going on here? It has a very interesting ending to it. So, by the way, this photograph is really bad. This guy has a really bad wig, and like something attacked them. What it was, they don't really know. But of course, basically something is attacking them, and it's this weird circular thing. Fire on the planet, they destroy it. But then, of course, basically, there's a green thing, and, well, the issue ends quite weirdly. And then the thing fires on appears to be Earth, and then they go back in time. Oh, and they translate the signal of what the heck that was, and what they said was, resistance is futile. So the original series crew just fought the Borg. Yep, in issue 6 of the series. Something I should point out, though, the Borg weren't created until the 1980s. The show aired in the 60s. Now, as for supposedly somehow the Borg counting to the original series, my guess is because this basically probably was a recorded mission. It's probably the reason why there's no account of them encountering them, because the earliest chronological appearance, aside from what happened in First Contact, was an episode of Enterprise where they had this happen, which is a good episode. And then next issue 7, where Kirk decides to visit the Guardian of Forever, walk through, and go to the year of 1971. I think this is like about a year after. And by the way, this is basically Star Trek Assignment Earth. So this is sort of a semi-sequel to the ending of season 2 of the show. Which, here's the thing. The story goes related to this episode because in this, if you watch the episode, Kirk and Spock are barely in the episode. And this was only like the 3rd time I could think of. They actually went back in time. And the whole thing with this episode was that Gene Roddenberry wanted this to be the spin-off of Star Trek. Be a spin-off of Star Trek in the 60s, but it didn't go anywhere. But it did get follow-ups in a couple of different novels, and plus in the Year 5 comic. But yeah, where Kirk encounters Gary Sev once again. Yes. And then, of course, we see his weird like an alien, and basically involves something to destroy the human race in the future. And yeah, basically Guardian Forever, it's like, yeah, they go back in time to 1971 for some reason. And we see his probe thing and read the computer. And I'm thinking, where's the secretary? don't know. So Gary 7 basically is involved with this more time travel stuff. It becomes really weird. With these weird looking aliens. You're like, what in the world is up with this design? Yeah. My guess is that John Byrne must have created these things with Photoshop because this looks terrible. Yeah. And it beat whatever this is. And he gets beamed aboard. And then we have another story, 4860.2. Yes, the story is it's got two stories. Second story involves them beaming down where somebody's attacked his crew. And the alien from the first story returns. And then they have to go, they have epilogue where they basically, where Kirk in what appears to be the future, well, basically finds older version of Gary 7 there, and then we have the survival equation, where this issue is a follow-up to I, Mudd, the story which Henry Mudd was trapped in a war with a bunch of female androids. Yeah, there was a book follow-up with this year that came out, I read, where he somehow was still alive in the 24th century, still has his goatee, and also in the book he apparently was putting on weight, so he was like they basically have his clothes getting kind of tight on him, like they couldn't control his weight for some reason. So he took one of the androids with him, and basically he left the planet, and then he somehow survived in the future, and of course they're like, stop, huh? Android, it's you. Yeah, and she doesn't know because this is like where the stellar androids. How in the world, basically, it's like, leave me up, leave me the planet. Like, no. Yep. So the androids beam the board, and they run into this guy again. Actually, more like a flashback. So it's a follow-up to Henry Mudd. Actually, not Henry Mudd. It's more like... Oh, yeah, I remember this episode. This was the episode where this place basically was... Where Christine Chappell's fiance was here with and the guy died, and the woman... And it's like somehow the woman's alive. And so it's follow-up with two stories. Yeah. Oh, and they apparently... I'm not sure what happened, though, because this apparently is Henry Mudd. Despite the fact that that's not what it looks like in the show. Yeah. I'm not sure why they couldn't... I'm not sure why John Byrne couldn't get his hands on a picture of the actor who played him, because... Now, Kirk, I appreciate, though, the fact that the androids basically... I got pictures of those correct. But Henry Mudd... They couldn't get him right? Well, they couldn't find a picture of the actor who played him? By the way, the original actor who played Henry Mudd passed away in the early 1980s. And he was also planning to come back Next Generation, but they had to change a different actor. So basically, by the end of the story, Henry Mudd's back into custody. A bunch of like crazy stuff all over the androids. Because of course they do. And Roke is somehow here. I'm thinking, like, I'm sitting here and I'm like, wait, I thought he was destroyed. Apparently he's back. And then we have Harry Mudd, who looks like Kirk for some weird reason. He fights him, of course. Apparently, okay, so they copied him. Okay. So, yeah. And then the androids left the planet, and that's it. By far a weird set of issues. Oh my gosh, this is so weird. I mean, the Gary Sim thing is one thing, but But why was it that John Byrne had to follow up with not one, but 2 episodes of season 2? First was the episode, like, in both episodes have involved androids. Yeah, I'm like, really? And they got the wrong picture for Harry Mudd. The only reason I know what the guy looks like is I watched the episode. That's why. But I give the book roughly 8 out of 10. Next we have is Godzilla Rivals. Yes, I thought this was going to be one of the last 4 books, basically, for Godzilla on the app I'm using. But they just put on there another Godzilla miniseries. Awesome. Basically, these are a series of one-shot where Godzilla is every single of these one-shots fighting one of his own monsters. So we have Godzilla vs. Hedorah, Godzilla vs. Mothra, which also has version of Batra appears here too. Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah, and of course the Batra one. Yeah, it's basically just him fighting all his old rivals. And Hedorah is written by Paul Adler, artwork by E.J. Elsu. Godzilla vs. Mothra is Mike Marikini. Godzilla vs. Batra, Rosie Knight, artwork by Oliver Ano. And Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah is Adam Graham. Yes, all 4 one-shots are fantastic. Yes, nothing bad here. It just basically them fighting each other, and Godzilla wins every time. You know, one of the recent one-shots was because last year was the 70th anniversary of Godzilla's debut. That was some of the reason for it. Yep, so yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe to notifications. Next up, my dress up darling. Okay, next video. Bye.